Okay, I got the transmission being held in a vise. I clamped onto the sprocket over there, so we're not doing no damage to anything. So this does not have the studs in there. The studs help align everything all up when you put the cover on it. When you just have Allen bolts here, there's nothing to center it, so it just kind of flops all over the place. Pain in the ass. The other thing we have is that we have the long Allen bolts in here, and it takes short Allen bolts to tighten this up. So I went and got some 3/8 nuts. I'm going to put those over the top of the Allen bolt here as a spacer, because obviously there's some kind of a bracket that's missing on the half, and that'll give me the proper amount of thread for that. So I can go ahead and tighten this all down with sealer on it and not have it leak. So otherwise it could leak. Alright, so I gotta get all those set up situated. Let's see, all the hardware out. Should be 9 altogether. So there should be 5 short, 4 long is 9. Okay, so I'm gonna get that all up. Get our gasket board over here. Our sealer. And we need our gasket. There it is over here. There's our gasket. So that's everything all set to go. And I'm going to need an Allen to tighten that with. So use, and a little short stubby Allen. The one I need. There it is. That's the 5/16 bolt Allen. Used to be real long, but it's worn down over the years. Okay, so that should give me everything I need. I got my crescent wrench over here. So we're going to have to wind up the kicker spring to get this here wound up down to where it's going to be over here, because it has to engage right here. We also have to pull this out a little bit, because the kicker gear right here has to wrap around like that to go in there. So that has to be clearanced out a little bit also. So you got a lot of little things that will be going on that most of it you won't see. But it's all stuff I got to deal with on the assembly part. So there you go. Fun, fun, fun. First thing I'm going to do is get my bolts all set up over here. Get my nuts on here. Now if you use a fine thread 3/8 nut, it slides right on. These are coarse thread ones, so they go in a little bit harder. There's about 5 or 10 thou engagement issue. So I had these because I found them, so they work. So there you go. This one here doesn't want to go down. I'm going to kind of twist on a little bit and get it to go in. Plug fit, precision. There you go. Okay, so I got all the bolts ready to go. Kicker, crescent wrench is set. Alright, let's go ahead and goop up the gasket. All kinds of things that have to be done all at once here. Nice layer of this all the way around everything. Don't have to worry about it getting on the gear over here, because it's going to gasket essentially all wad itself up and disappear, so it's not a big issue. That's why I don't use silicone. Silicone doesn't disappear. It just kind of smushes and moves all over the place and causes problems. Gasket says you coat all the surfaces, so you do the O-ring, I mean not the O-ring, the gasket on both sides. We did the case and the kicker cover. So gasket cinch is half cement and half sealer. So there you go. sticks really good to itself. Okay, this guy can go on either direction, but this cutout only fits one way. Goes on the bottom. Line up all our holes. There we go. See how it matches the bottom? If you went up here, it wouldn't match the bottom. See, this one has a flat cut on up there. Like I said, the pattern's double. Either way, it works the same way. Now, the other thing I do is when you put a bolt in here, the fifth bolt under here for your frame, make sure you don't poke a hole up in the top right here. If you do, it leaks like a sieve. It's one of your leaks you won't know about. So, very common for people to run a long bolt in there and break the case up. Don't do that. Not a good thing to do. Okay, so get this stuff all over here to get access to it. I'm not sure where the 4 long bolts are going to go, so we'll just have to guess. Okay, we put a little bit of grease on the fork in here. Just for the hell of it. Okay, it's lubed. Put our spring on. Now if you put the spring on backwards, it'll go on backwards. It just doesn't work. So here's backwards. See, it's on backwards, so when you rotate it around to catch on it, the kicker's pressure's coming this way, which is the wrong direction. We want the kicker to come up this way. So that's how you know you're backwards. It just winds up wrong. See, if you turn it, there's no tension on it. So, put it on the correct direction. You rotate around until it catches right there. And that's where you're at. Now you got to put the wind on it. You got to wind that sucker all the way over to here. Put that in there, hold it, wrap it around the inside of this so this is not hooked on it. And that's how you do it. And that's the trick, is to throw that thing out there pretty far so you can get in there with it without fighting it. And then make sure your clutch arm's not sitting up like that. Make sure it's back there where it belongs. That's kind of important too. A lot of little things going on. Okay, so this here, we have a little wind up on it right here. Usually I just use my leg or my arm over here to hold it. So usually you got studs right now, which we don't have. You just have to deal without it. Try to find a sweet spot in there for a bolt. There's a bolt right there. Alright, something's wrong. Something's wrong with the gasket. The seal's already all screwed up already. So the gasket is sticking way down over here. See, it doesn't line up with the hole at all. So, see, the whole thing's off. So that's called a failure, complete 100% failure. I'm putting it together. So I'm going to take it back off. Come up with something better. One thing I can do, I just thought about, I could put set screws in there. So what happened on the gasket? So you can see how the gasket slid over on us. So instead of looking at sticking the case, I'm going to stick it to the cover. I think the next thing I'll try. Pry the gasket. See it's already all stuck. You got to pull it all back off. Regoop everything. Start over. But that did not work. And that is the problem with no studs. Pain in the butt. So I think one trick I'm going to try set screws. I've never done that before, but it's a good trick. The set screw is like a stud, except you can pull it out. It has an Allen bolt on the end of it. You can pull it out. See, these are set screws right here. So I'm going to take 3 of them at least. I think these are American thread and not metric. Yep. Alright, we'll put those in there. And that will give us access to do it easily the first shot. Lines everything all up so it goes right together like it's supposed to. And there's my Allen for putting those in. Okay. 3 should be enough. Alright. Jump number 2. Regoop everything all up. Now, gasket cinch is pretty damn thin, so it doesn't really build up much. And most of it already came off anyway. There for a minute. Okay, I'll go ahead and put my screws in here. One right there, one right here in the center, and probably one down here in the bottom. Yeah, put it on this side over here. Yeah, put this one up here. Nice, good three points of contact. Okay, I'll put the gasket on. I should be able to put it on the case again now because it's not going to slide around like it did before. Push it in where it belongs. Okay, try this again. And the bearing. on your studs. Slips, goes running like it's supposed to. Put our stud in. It threads in pretty easily, which is nice. Okay, that's in. One stud over here. That's the easiest if I'd done one of these yet, because I had studs. Normally you're fighting these things left and right. Okay, that worked pretty damn nice. The gasket lines up, it goes right in. Not fighting the gasket also. Yeah, we didn't want to go in. Went about one turn and stopped. Yeah, threads are kind of crappy right there. It goes in easier. Let's keep going. Okay, now, depending on the application of what the bike is, we can have the exhaust mount bracket down here like on an Evo, which rarely happens on a 4-speed. These two here are probably going to be studs coming up because this is the electric starter bracket here and also the oil tank mount for an FL. On an FX, they have a bracket that comes up this way. They also have 3 studs here for holding a foot peg on this direction. So we only got 4 studs, so I'm going to guess 2 are going to be right here, and the other 2 would normally be coming up off of here, I think is where they go, or here. And if it had a foot peg, it'd be 3 here, and it'd have to be 5, which we don't have. Or I could pick it real nice looking there and just put them on the bottom down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let him deal with it later. So it's kind of a toss-up on how to do it. So I think I'm going to do, I'll put 2 studs here because I think that's where they're going to be going, and I'll probably put the 2 right here because I just don't know where to put them. So I don't know. Me, I only wind up using 2 right here, and do everything else, I put regular bolts in it. Who knows? As far as I know, this is not going into anything, and if it was going to go into anything, it would have been a rigid frame chopper bike. So those don't run anything. All you would have would be a starter mount, unless it was a kick only, and then we wouldn't even have that. So this was going to a bike for putting together. So it's hard to tell what what the plan was for now. So we'll just wing it. The advantage of this is you can take these out whenever you want and do what you want. See, these are not binding. I can pull these studs out by hand. That's one reason I put real long ones in there too. Better access. All right. Now I'm going to tighten these other ones up more, the bottom ones that really matter. I'm going to tighten them up pretty good. Because I know they're not coming out, most likely. The ones with the nuts on them here, I'm just going to kind of pull them about halfway. Because I don't want to permanently damage the cover. I'm leaving a big indent mark in it. Far enough. This one here, it's pulling an angle real bad, so I'm going to use this for that. Go in here and use the actual real Allen wrench. It gets in there easily without angling it. Pretty tight. There you go. Clutch works. So this is our clutch mechanism here. See, my finger works it like it's supposed to. Works nice and free. So that's good. Let's see if the kicker works. The kicker is not working, which is bad. Oh. Hey, dumbass. Why is the kicker not working? Hey, someone's got the sprocket in the vise over there. So the transmission case is trying to lift, but it won't go any further. Maybe that's why it doesn't work. I don't know. There might be a theory in there somewhere. Alright. Let's see who was smarter, me or the tranny. Okay, now let's see if the kicker works. Remember, the kicker arm's supposed to be straight up and down. We're also in 2 gears at once, which means it doesn't work also. Okay. It rotates around, releases down here, ratchets up. Kick, 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 and kick, and kick, and kick, and releases right there. And engages up there. And releases up here. Okay. Kicker appears to be working correctly. That's a plus. Alright, so that works pretty good. I'll put this back in the vise because that was a pretty good deal. Pretty good holding fixture, actually. Alright, there you go. Like I said, this here works good here. So you push on this, that moves out over there, and vice versa. See? So that's all what you want. Now it'd be hard to get in here with the plug now because you can't pull it out right now because that's in the way, but the factory plug was up higher and at an angle, so it'd come out. Aftermarket stuff was not made correctly. There's no level plug in here. So on this one here, you put oil in it until it comes out the thread. It's like these stock Harley covers way down here. In 65 or 66, somewhere in that area, they put the plug up top here and change the look of the cover. So this looks like a late cover, but it has the early hole location for oil. So you put oil in until it touches the bottom of the thread, which is way down here, which is about halfway up the tranny. There you go. Alright, let me get the top stuff ready to go. We'll be right back.